Good news, ladies and gentlemen. I got rid of that big Bible, and now we're working with the Good News Bible. And let me tell you what the good news is. The good news is once you move beyond the dogma that is located inside this type of book and move into the spiritual realm through the inner workings of the mind, then, ladies and gentlemen, you can be just like Mike. And if that isn't something to aspire to, then there's no point in waking up tomorrow morning, ladies and gentlemen. Because look what I did. With the help of a friend of mine called VTSPQR, and those initials have a significant meaning, I created what he originally coined as Fuzgami, but I have restructured the name slightly to call it Fuzgami. And ladies and gentlemen, between that and the tinfoil hat with the forked beard that I have on top of my tinfoil hat and above my glasses, I have the power now, ladies and gentlemen, of absorbing energy through the universe. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I am absorbing the energy through the tinfoil, and that's why I had to put the Bible expert flare on my glasses, because the energy was flowing down so fast it was giving my nose a sunburn. Ladies and gentlemen, let me show you what Fuzgami is. Fuzgami is a certain, what Chris called folding methodologies, and asked me what the name was, and I didn't have an answer. Fuzgami is the folding methodologies that I have been doing for a year and a half, well, several years, without a name. This is Fuzgami. Notice the face on the left-hand side with the eyes that are looking upwards, and it appears as if there are beams coming out of the eyes. Those beams are actually a representation of what is known as Euclidean optics, which allows light to bend around a surface, which has to do with the gravitational field of a specific object, but it has to do with Euclidean and non-Euclidean optics, and those are real words associated with real concepts in the encyclopedia that you can look up. Now, if you'll notice, this appears to be a sea-type creature, something similar to that of a nautilus, but it's a vampire squid. And to see this Fuzgami from a better perspective, this looks like the vampire squid is moving through the ocean in this direction, through the waves of the ether of either the water or the universe, and being propelled by the wind that is coming out of what appears to be the mouths above and below the eye at the rear end of the Fuzgami. If you'll notice, the face that is facing up and down and sideways appears to be a face from an Egyptian type entity. They are so because these are the aspect of the Egyptian faces that appear on the $1 bill, because these are one of the many faces of the different forms of gods that were placed on the $1 bill by a remnant society that has existed on this world for tens of thousands of years and controls every aspect of this world, including our governments and our religious institutions. There are also Mayan gods, which I'm going to point out now. On the end of the $1 bill, if you'll notice, facing the pointed end and what appears to be similar to that of an all-seeing eye, this appears to be an Incan or a Mayan god. Now, if we were to take something simple like this and bring it back, you would be able to see what appears to be a face of a man, of an Egyptian, of a Mayan or an Incan nature. And the eye appears to be facing the pointed end. I moved this around because I can't really see that well what the best angle is. But this is a face of a Mayan or an Incan god as opposed to the faces of Egyptian gods. Now the reason that the Nautilus itself appears is because this entity that put all of these pictographs on the $1 bill wants you to understand that this entity has been on this world controlling the genetic enhancements of the different species that have existed on this planet since the beginning of time itself. And that's the reason why the Nautilus itself appears to be on the $1 bill. So here you have three different types of faces: Incan, Mayan, and Egyptian. And you know that it is the Egyptian god because from this perspective, above the Egyptian god's head is what appears to be what is called a vulture's headdress. V-U-L-T-U-R-E-S. Vulture's headdress. And this is a vulture's headdress as well. So now what you see is the vulture's headdress on the Egyptian pharaoh and the fork's beard. And here you see the fork's beard on the $1 bill and the vulture's headdress on the face that appears to be of an Egyptian nature. This is no coincidence, ladies and gentlemen. Some creature or entity or remnant society, and certainly the beings that have controlled this world since the beginning of recorded history, did this on purpose. But what I want you to look at inside the centralmost portion of this pictograph is what appears to be a face with three arrows. But it's not just a normal face. It is almost a perfect depiction of what we call a pharaoh's face with the elongated head. Now, how could this be anything other than done on purpose? Especially, those three arrows almost look as if it is part of the nose and mouth structure. Now, I'm going to turn it upside down so that you can see it from both directions. When you look at it from this direction, it looks like one particular type of face. And when you look at it from this direction, it looks like another type of face with the elongated head, or vice versa. Just like this Nautilus or sea type of creature looks like it has an elongated type of head. I don't think this is a coincidence. But moving back to the concept that I portrayed called Euclidean optics, where the optics appear to be the rays of light that are, well, it looks like they're coming out of the eyes, but actually the beams of light are coming into the eyes, which is allowing these Egyptian faces to see what is going to be in the path of the Nautilus itself. Now, this is identical in nature to these Egyptian faces, which have the ability to see around what I call the God pod, or the evil seed of death, because it allows these, what I call the sixth-winged seraphim, with faces before and behind, that look like a bullock or an oxen, that look like a bullock or an oxen, that look like a bullock or an oxen. They look like a bullock or an oxen because if you'll notice, at the very tip, it even shows you the tongue of an oxen or a bullock, with the snout and the eyes, because this is the oxen or the bullock or the calf that is spoken about in Revelation 4, verses 6 and 7. Make no mistake about it, ladies and gentlemen, this is the sixth-winged seraphim, because on either side of the eyes, those beams have 6 individual lines that you can count by stopping the video and count them for yourselves. Blow up the picture as big as it gets and count the lines. I don't lie to you about stuff like this. I tell you the truth. It's factual, and you can look on the end of your own $1 bill and see this for yourself. That is the oxen or the bullock that appears on the $1 bill with the tongue lashing the lips. This is an exploded view of it, or an enlarged view with the tongue lashing the lips, enhanced with a little bit of pink. And ladies and gentlemen, my name is Michael Fazio, and all of this information is in my book, Angels on the Ark. And what I please implore you to do, please rate my videos, ladies and gentlemen.